Hello everyone, welcome to VJ's World. The name of today's story is Isaac of Mosul and the Flute Player. Isaac bin Ibrahim al Mosli was in his house one night in the winters when the clouds spread and there was heavy rain. At this moment, someone knocked at the door, so he went to the door and found a beautiful woman in a long green skirt and having a handkerchief on her head to protect her from the rain. She was covered with mud to her knees. Then he called his slave to help her clean herself. He gave her a very rich and expensive dress. Then he bought an old blind man in his house to sing for her, but the old man wanted them to sing first. They did as he said, but he did not like their music. The woman got angry and threw the lute in anger. Isaac apologized. Then the old man revealed their secrets. They were amazed. He left and they kept looking for him but never found him again. Isaac of Mosul and the beautiful lady and Mamun. One night, Isaac of Mosul was walking in the street. In front of a house, he saw something hanging down from one of the houses. When he went near, he saw that it was a great four-handled basket covered with brocade. He sat down inside the basket and the people of the house pulled him up. When he came to the top of the wall, he found a young lady who was as beautiful as the rising moon. Then he started to talk her until most of the night was spent. When Isaac took leave of her and returned to his house, there came to him a messenger from the Caliph. The Caliph demanded that Isaac should tell him what he had seen. So he went to him and told him about the night. When the night came, the Caliph came with Isaac to the house. The beautiful young woman began to entertain them with stories and verses. When the Caliph saw her, he was amazed at her beauty. He asked for her hand in marriage and gave her a dowry of 30,000 dinars. A bird saved Maruf. Sidi al Maruf and Sidi Abdul Tardoon were traveling together. In evening, they separated to find a resting place. Sidi al Maruf reached the house of a woman who was living with her husband. He asked her permission to spend the night in her house. She agreed. After dinner, they all went to sleep. At midnight, the woman got up, took a knife, and killed her husband. At dawn, she began to cry, "He has killed my husband." The villagers came to the house and seized the stranger. They tied him in ropes to burn. Sidi Abdul Tardu came and saw his friend in tears. "What have you done?" he asked. "I have done no evil," answered Maruf. Then Sidi al Tadu called the woman and asked, "Did he really kill your husband?" "He killed him," she replied. Sidi Abdul Tadu asked the bird sitting on a nearby tree. The bird answered, "It was the woman who killed her husband. Feel in her hair and you will find the knife she used." They searched her hair and found the knife still covered with blood, which gave evidence of all the crime. The truth was known and Maruf was allowed to go. The shepherd. There was once a shepherd who fed a flock of sheep in the desert and kept watch over them. One night there came to him a thief to steal some of his flock, and finding him alert, tried hard but could not manage to steal any animal. So The thief went into the desert and trapped a lion and carried it to a high place where the shepherd could see it. Then he went up to the shepherd and said to him, "That lion up there he has sent me to demand his supper of these sheep." "Where is the lion?" asked the shepherd, and the thief answered, "Lift your eyes, there he stands." The shepherd raised his eyes, and seeing the lion, he was scared. So he let the thief take many of his sheep. He took advantage of the poor shepherd's fear of the lion. He would go to the shepherd every few days and took some sheep until all the shepherd's sheep were gone. The story of beardless lover. There lived in a street two women. One of them had a mature and strong lover with beard, while the other's lover was young and weak and had no beard. One night they gathered on the roof of a house, not knowing that somebody was around them and hearing their talk. One of the women said to the other, "Oh, my sister, how can you bear when your lover's beard rubs against your skin and his mustache hurts you?" "Silly woman," replied the other, "the beard and the mustache are like the leaves and flowers on a tree, without which it looks ugly. Don't you know that? The beard is to men and the side locks to women." The other woman was amazed, and that night she asked her lover to grow a beard, and he was stunned, but when he said she would leave him, he agreed. However, he went to the lover with the beard and told him what the woman had agreed on. At this, the man in the beard grew angry and decided to teach his lover a lesson. She So he also shaved and became like the beardless boy. When the first woman saw her lover shaved, she started crying. She realized her mistake and apologized to her friend. She could never have thought that her bearded lover would do something so bold as to shave off his entire beard. He knew how much she liked his beard and how it made her feel. It seemed like a drastic move just to get back and at her for giving advice to another woman about the benefits of a man with beard. The woman did not realize that it is the best to keep personal advice to yourself, because you never know who might be listening or if the people who you are discussing might know each other.